let's kick it off. I think this is like going to be episode 56. We're going to dive in.
56. Wow, that's impressive.
Right into, thank you.
Dive right into the Atlantic.
That's right. And that's what I did yesterday.
You sure did.
And then I was like, get me out of here. Not because I was cold. Welcome to the show, Wave On Podcast. I'm Misty here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan, and this episode is out for the Evolve mini team. The girls actually be ambassadors, and one running the brand, KJ, and Kami from Aqua Om. She owns a little paddleboard company like me, teaching classes and rentals and just sharing the vibe and the stoke. And so grateful to have these connections and watch them literally grow before our eyes. You know, Kami has got her little sup family in PA with Aqua Om, sharing the whole water vibe out there like I'm doing here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan. And it's so nice to be able to collaborate and come together and even do it in person this time. So I'm very thankful for the trip out to Ocean City, Maryland, bringing the three corners of the area together, MI, PA, MD. Who knows? Maybe we'll bring them all together one day and have a little sup retreat. Who knows? I'm just going to throw that out there. But loving the boards that I came home with. The movement boards for sale, Evolve boards used for classes. I came home with the Good Buddy, which is behind me. It's in the UV cover, actually, because I had it out the other day showing off how to protect your board. And I got my other board I've had for a few years now, my cork board, yoga hard one, actually. And just, loving the Evolve brand and being able to surf together the day before and sharing some stories, how we got started and our experience. And what is a natter day? You'll find out in the podcast, episode 56. And again, sharing that vibe of stoke with newbies, people who are a little nervous about getting on a board. I have some classes coming up next week and probably the next following Tuesdays, teaching technique, paddle, stroke, stance, how to fall, how to get back on your board safely. And if you are listening and you have a family friend, maybe a family member, there we go, to come out. If they've been nervous and you've told them all about your experience, just keep sharing, because that's what this is all about, is to have fun with one another and, leave our cares away on land and get out and float away. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the season. Now, between Kami and I, we're both celebrating 5 years, and Evolve's celebrating 10. So my knowledge comes right down the tree where I, based on my own personal experience, but then I know I can turn to Evolve and ask any questions, whether it was about equipment or something that I wouldn't know about. And being able to go out on the East Coast is completely different, obviously, than Midwest Michigan area. And we kind of share and reflect on that a little bit as well. So let's dive into this podcast. I have one more thing to share, and it's a proud moment of another student. Actually, we had decided to sign up for a race, and I had Michael actually from Minnesota meet up with us, and it was originally his idea, and we just kind of spread it out. And watching a student grow over the past couple years and then be able to do her first intro race, she placed third. And so did I, a third place to come home, and we're happy about it. And we're just sharing the experience with some of the other SUP family members in the area. And who knows, maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the season again for another race. We'll just keep that open-minded and willingness to learn, just like you should probably share with anybody else that wants to come out for class, and, lower the expectation and have fun and be able to come back again and keep growing those levels of experience and getting on a board. Let's get into this podcast. Episode 56. Again, I thank you both ladies for sharing and being able to pull together an in-person podcast at Evolve headquarters, Walk on Water in Ocean City, Maryland. Up here, we're at Evolve headquarters, Walk on Water, and
Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City,
SOC.
Maryland. Yes, yeah, and we're literally between boards. We're not between two ferns. We're between two boards or multiple boards. And Kami is here with Aqua. She's a repeat offender.
You're a remigrant.
Yes.
Yeah.
By popular demand, I would like to add.
Definitely. Oh my gosh.
And I would be like a neophyte. New.
She's a newbie. She's kind of got. We could give you a rookie stripe, maybe, but you're not the rookie as far as paddleboarding goes, and especially surfing and sup surfing, which is kind of what we were doing yesterday. I was kind of doing it. You guys were doing it. I was kind of doing it.
You were doing it. Everybody's just kind of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, well, so with that, I guess coming out here and seeing the ocean, because I'm a lake girl primarily. I went out and I wasn't scared. I mean, you have a little ounce or two of intimidation, and you also know what the ocean can do.
Yes.
So I sort of was like, all right, I'm gonna back out of this because I'm gonna go observe. I just thought, you know what, the whole routine of and I want you to kind of explain it, maybe just getting past the break.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to do, like have the nose up and this kind of thing, but to have that repeat and go back into my head and actually do it, I was like,
yeah.
I'm going to go back and observe. I'm going to watch the water. I mean, being on the Great Lakes, Michigan, you do get a lot of waves, so it's not that it wasn't familiar to me. It was just, I guess, doing it, because we're like still in the month of May and I'm literally just getting out my summer clothes and
and you were the only one in like a half of a wetsuit. All, like,
Seriously?
booties, gloves. I think there was somebody in there with like a hood, some in like 5.4s. I was in the 3.2. I don't wear booties. I hate them, but a surfer was like flying by us and she was like, she's gonna be cold, does she know? And I was like, oh, she's from Michigan.
Have you seen these crazy people in the Great Lakes?
It's like Hawaii right now to her.
And then Jeff was like, is she going back because she's cold? And I'm like, I don't think it's because she's cold.
I was not
I think
cold.
She can handle the cold. It is intimidating.
Yeah.
It's still intimidating, especially, I mean, I think you have a little bit of fear, all of us, going into it, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
We should say what sup surfing is, because a lot of people don't know the difference between, regular surfing, sup surfing, or that you could surf on a paddleboard.
Oh yeah, you
Totally.
have a lot of fun on a stand-up paddleboard surf style.
No, that's a great point because especially in Michigan, I mean that's who I teach and even starting some trainings and stuff, and we start talking about different water types and actually, we just talked about sup surfing in the last podcast episode and going to Costa Rica, which you kind of have a tie with too as well. Yeah. And they didn't know that you could do all of that. And I said, yeah, there's so much you can do on a board. I mean, it's not just one board. There's different. We have an inflatable race board over here.
Yeah, and it really opens up a lot for all kinds of people, especially even surfers who are totally used to prone surfing, who are injured, either their necks or their backs from always having to do the back bend maneuvers and pop-ups and stuff, and they come over to what we call the dark side of sup surfing, and they enjoy it, and they're able to still be active on the water, share the stoke, and catch waves again. And
it's really cool.
It's really funny because when I try to do prone, I can't believe how much power they have in their shoulders and their backs and in their hips pushing down and just the explosiveness. And when they start, when I've had friends that have transitioned over to sup surfing, they're like, oh my God, my feet hurt. How do you stand on this thing? This is crazy. And they just like flop around, and it's awesome that they see and experience another side to surfing that accesses a ton of muscles differently then they have mad respect about it, right? They're like, just thought you were like kooking out over there. I'm like, look who's kooking now.
What did you say the surfers call subsurfers? You said
I'm
a funny.
not going to mention that. Well, there's some things we don't talk about.
Okay.
Well, technically, another thing that maybe newbies or maybe even just Michiganders, Midwest.
Michiganders.
Michiganders? Is that a thing?
No, it is a thing.
That category.
No, it's a thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, Michiganders. Yeah,
It's a thing now.
Wow.
It's a thing. Midwest. I never thought I was Midwest until I was living in Delaware, and they called me Midwest, and I always thought, no, Iowa and Indiana are Midwest, not us.
With a word like Michiganders.
I'm like, no, we're Detroiters, but whatever. Anyway, just that region, let's say, and or just like I said, newbies. Didn't know that there was actual categories, categories lack of term maybe, or just the division of surfers and stand-up surfers, and that being this mentality that no, you guys can't bring those boards into the surf zone with the shorter boards. I mean, what?
I think it's just that there's need, it requires a lot of respect for everybody.
Yeah.
All boards, whether you're on a sup style or a surf style. Just looking, being aware. That's one of the hardest things to learn. Is the appropriate lineup and your 360 around you. There's just so much happening.
Yeah.
And there's really not. I mean, at least I was lucky that I was introduced to it through friends that had been, doing it their whole life. I hadn't, and so they were able to, school me quickly and pull me aside and be like, "Did you know you just cut that person off?" Nope. I was just trying to stay on the board. I had no awareness of that.
Yeah.
And that's tough, you know, and you need that community to kind of help coach you to do that. You don't know what you don't know, and yeah, there's probably some division in like prone surfing, sup surfing. I'm sure that's like pretty much everywhere in any sport or activity outside that you're gonna find that.
Yeah.
I don't think we have much of it here though.
Really?
Like everybody's pretty supportive here. Yeah.
Well, that's
We're lucky
good.
that way. I mean, we've tried really hard to do the sup surfing in this community that is predominantly surfing.
Yeah.
And I think we've blended it really, really well. And a lot of the surfers are actually sup surfing because we're blending it.
Nice. When we showed up to the beach, which is Aztec Island,
Yep.
and when we just went and looked, and before we brought even the boards out, and there was already some surfers out there, and it was sort of like, let's stay away from over here because they're surfing. So, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And we go back to the sort of like a respect of, they're already over there surfing. Why would you go over there and disrupt as a stand-up paddleboarder?
Situational awareness.
Yeah, right.
I think that's with all outdoor recreation, though. And I think, like, if you're someone who is the experienced one in your community of hiking, skiing, camping, windsurfing, whatever it is, like when you have and you welcome newbies into it, it's sharing that knowledge, because I'm a true believer, like we all should recreate, and state parks and, beaches, they're for everybody, but like your recreation can't really like infringe or ruin someone else's. Like that's a big thing with me. So I think any sport, no matter what it is, it's just being aware of your surroundings and like, is my music super loud and maybe scaring away that wildlife or those horses that these people came here to see, so
that's true.
Barking dogs, there's so much of that. And it's not that people are intentionally being jerks, but just unaware. So share the wealth, people.
Share the wealth. And
there's plenty of ocean for everybody. There's no break.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
And I believe in California, opposite coast, is they have beaches that are for sup surfing, maybe only, or the beach is divided. I'm not sure, but I think that is a thing where sup surfing, you can go learn.
They can get aggro out there.
Yeah, so I didn't see a lot of mixing. Like here, like the Evolve team is all friends with like other regular like surfers, and it's just like all this chatter.
Know each other.
And out there, like, you meet someone and they're like, "Oh, you're a paddle boarder." And you're like,
well,
"Come on, man."
I mean, but to their, actually, in their defense, I've learned that there's a lot of paddleboard surfing that's happening without as much knowledge.
I'd agree with that.
People can learn to paddleboard instantaneously. You can hop right up and you're going, and you can go miles on these things. I think it's good practice to do a little prone surfing first. I wish I had done that first,
Mm-hmm.
And not just, to be able to read the current better and have just a better respect for how big our floating boards are and what they see and experience. And, we can zip around and we might go in front of them, right? But that's really annoying when you're looking out and you're a surfer and you're looking for your wave to come and this person's just like zip, zip, like.
And it just took you 15 minutes to get out there, too, and now they're, like, stealing your spot.
Little flies, and they're just, and it took me a minute I had to have my crew say, what do you, beware. But anyway, it's all good.
No, that's great. It's good points to kind of shed light on. And
I also had one of my crew who I cut off, right? He came around and yanked me off my leash, off my board. Yeah, and I still remember that, and I remember it to this day.
Really?
It sealed it, and I was like, I get you. Okay, cool. You're right. I was just doing my thing, and he was like,
So he kind of put you...
Oh, yeah, and he caught the next, and he just pulled my leash, and I went flying, and he was like, oh, sorry about you.
Wow.
So
it's almost a little bit of like a Point Break attitude.
It was a teaching moment.
Or a teaching moment,
teaching
too.
Moment.
Yes.
Yeah, but it worked, right? It was a less aggro way of doing it, and he was trying to like convey, hey, a little bit of respect, please.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, it's like for newbie paddleboarders, like you just said, getting on a board and just going. And I mean, and to me and Kami probably were like, you should probably have a lesson. And
yeah, but we didn't have surfers out there yesterday. Now, if there were a lot more surfers out there, we would have gone way down on the south side of the beach or up a little north.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been, we were trying to keep you guys in the area. And there were lots of paddleboarders.
There was.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
There was.
There were a lot of them.
That was super fun.
It was so cool. I mean, so, yeah, once I got past my, I'm not so sure about this, or am I really doing this today? I mean, I'm glad I did. And I did some kneeboarding. That's what I did.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, Ron's really good at talking people off the ledge.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, the credit is there for him for sure, because even on coming back in, he kind of told me what to do. So, like I said, trying to link past experiences, and this has probably been my whole entire life. Like, my first time doing anything on the ocean was boogie boarding, and I was probably 12, and they couldn't get me out of the water. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the most amazing experience, and they couldn't get me out of the water. There was no rash guards. My stomach was like completely, all red and beaten up. I went home with that board, and I thought, when am I going to get to use this again, in Michigan and where we lived? And we're surrounded by water, but not like that. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, to go back to that point of me linking, because I did some surfing lessons in Nicaragua. So that was that whole like going back in my brain again, seeing the ocean yesterday. Like, okay, what did I learn? What about the board and the wave, and not having the board come back at you and hurt you.
I've got 60 stitches in my foot from that happening, so I get it.
Oof. So, and I know that. I mean, and just watching surfing videos. And those guys are doing way more than I will ever do in my life, but still, I know it happens to anybody that goes out there.
And it's still there's like that intimidation where when you roll up and you're like it's a mixed bag of like super excitement, like Christmas Day, like what's up there? I can't wait. I'm about like going up the sand, elevator, what's gonna? Oh my god! And then you're like, holy shit, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And like the walk back to your car to get your board, you're just like, Jekyll and Hyde. I'm going to do it. I don't think we should. Like all the things, right? And then you see someone roll up with their board, and you just need that person to say, "You ready? Let's go." And you're like, "Okay." Like, I'm going to trust that I'm going to figure this out. And but in the beginning, it feels like when you're on a paddleboard in the ocean surfing, getting out, it feels like it can get away from you really fast. Versus like prone paddling, you have a little bit more control of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's awesome. I mean, like I said, doing the knee board back.
Yeah.
But I caught the wave. And,
yeah, totally.
And
I heard you caught a screamer.
Ron was like, lean back.
Yeah. And he's really good at like,
that helps.
He's really good at nailing like what you need to know in that moment. He's been doing it for so long, and he can pretty much surf a raindrop. That guy. But he's really, really like.
This is kind of what the Evolve logo is almost. It's a raindrop.
Like a teardrop. Like a teardrop. But yeah, he's just really good at coaching and really like giving pointers and stuff like that, and being encouraging and patient.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so then, I mean, a learning experience. I'm sure, Kami, you've came across these kind of learning experiences yourself, where like you've met your challenge today, and you think about like that newbie person that has came to you just to get on a board on flat water.
That's why I love this, because I think no matter how long you paddleboard, sup surf, whatever, there's always going to be that day that you're like, I was humbled today. Yeah. I can hop on a board and just go, and I got that new board, yesterday. It was the first day I was on it. I'm like, yeah, let's take this board that you don't know anything about. There's a totally different shaped board, and get your ass out in the ocean. Like, I must have dumped it 3 times in the first 5 minutes. Like,
you cooped out. Awesome.
What is wrong with me?
Totally
do I own a paddleboard company? Does she know how to do this? Like, that's humbling, but that's fun. That's the fun part of it. You don't get bored. You can always
don't get bored.
Add the foil, add the kite, whatever.
Right.
Add the surf.
Yeah.
Add fishing rods, whatever, and change your experience.
Totally.
To whatever you want it to be. Maybe lazy or more exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's hooked.
I'm so hooked.
So hooked.
I'm like, KJ, you have a new roommate. I'll be down 2 times a week.
my house, the owner's gonna be like, what the hell?
I'm trying to figure out a way of maybe I should spend a summer here. Honestly,
your landlord and I are like this.
Can't get out of the garage. I'm like, what's happening?
I went outside and I just couldn't find my way back in because there was lots of doors and it was dark and my phone was dead and I had no battery.
Oh, that's funny.
So I keep going in the house and I just see so many doors.
It's all the salt water. It makes you crazy, man.
It makes you a little crazy.
Salt water makes you crazy. It makes you lightheaded.
So fun.
That's so fun. That's awesome. I mean, so yeah, going back to the whole like newbie, situation. Here, here's a board. I mean, Evolve in general. I mean, Kami, you share your experience, but for me, I had a bunch of different boards. I tried a bunch of different boards before I found Evolve. And being from Michigan, there's stuff going on there, but it's not like California where it's easy access to different stuff. And I came across Evolve, and I was in research of some sort, and I saw the inflatables, and I said, that's what you need to teach newbies on, and especially for yoga too.
Sure.
The inflatable, the lotus, and
orange stripe. In the pod.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Solid.
That's a game changer for a newbie because they do think that they're going to see a surfboard when they show up, like a potato chip looking surfboard. And I had taught, before I even started my business, I had taught for some other independent places, and they had some crap gear that I was like, wow, this is what you put a newbie on? And then you're doing yoga. I mean, you can do yoga on a hard board, but...
Yeah, I've been on some of those.
But some of them...
the hard boards are taking on water.
Hurts your knees and stuff, and so I like and I knew that's what would happen, that people would be at ease when they saw the inflatables.
Yeah. I mean, they're double reinforced. They're sturdy as hell. I mean, same material as a whitewater raft. So virtually indestructible unless you run into some barnacles, and then we got to talk. And we got to talk about where you're doing yoga. What the hell, Misty?
What's going on over
We're in
here?
a coral reef.
Yeah.
I don't even surf on that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're pretty. They're pretty to look at. They're aesthetically really pleasing, and
That's
a lot of
another thing.
detail goes into it, from the color to the alligator skin of the whole board to
Oh, yeah.
You can spot them a mile away.
I know, it's cool.
And I don't know about here or your lake, but at Blue Marsh at mine, people be like, "Oh, I saw people out on your boards." You're like, they're not my boards. I didn't make them, but it makes me feel good because you can see them, and they are some good-looking boards across the lake.
Girl, they look good.
They do. They really do.
So nice.
And I mean, Ron's been on the podcast before, and
Mr. Gasardo in the house. Where is Mr. Gasardo?
Where is he?
He doesn't work on natter days, guys.
He does not work on natter days.
Yeah,
He knows exactly what that means.
I had no clue. So see, I learned something new over here and on the East Coast. But no, I had complimented over and over the design, the colors. I mean, so many other boards you just don't have it. Not as cool.
I know we're talking about inflatable, but design and colors, the new Freshie, is this not the most bitchin' board ever?
I love it.
I mean, look at the new Good Buddy with the peach
Oh,
stripe.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's the one you got.
That's the one I'm going home with.
You both are going home with the same board. It's just different color. It's awesome.
Different colors,
Yeah.
Which we have the same hiking boots.
Yeah.
Literally the same hiking boots, just different colors, and didn't realize it.
Sub-sisters, man.
We totally are.
Sub-sister's bag yesterday. She goes,
there's
wait a minute. You have the same bag as
Yeah. like-minded, strong, powerful paddler women. Yeah. There's a couple in Annapolis. I mean, Carlene Burns and Nikki Stimson. Shout out to Chesapeake.
Mm-hmm.
And Howl Health, they team up, they coach, they race. Strong, powerful women team up
And honestly, I mean, I follow them through social media too, and it's nice motivation, inspiration. I mean, for not having a lot by me really, and it's
nice to see females in the lineup. And
yes.
I mean, stand-up paddleboarding is a female-dominated sport. I mean, the power comes below the waist, and let's just face it, we got it.
We got it. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So we're about on the brink of starting, and I actually another thing that we have in common is 5 years, 5th year season for both of us.
That's right.
In business, 5 years.
Yeah, this is our 5th season.
Well, at Walk on Water, it's our 10th
10th year.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
So
5, 5,
fun.
and 10.
Well, let's cheers to that one. We're having, what is this called?
A Natter Day.
A Natter Day.
Happy Natter Day.
All right. Well, they don't sell this everywhere. I had to drive not that far, but still. I made a phone call, and they were like, oh, yeah, we've got it. And I thought we had to go to 8th Street. No, it was 18th Street downtown. Yeah.
Car show weekend. You get big extra props for that.
I do, because I left Detroit to get away from the car. And then I come back out here. I'm like, I can't get away from it. It's like I'm on the Woodward Dream Cruise all over again. I'm like, what the heck? They're all in my campground. And then the night before, we stayed in Pennsylvania, and it was like NASCAR night. I'm like, oh my God, I'm having...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud that Misty camped in Pennsylvania, and she told me it was the first time she went to a campground where there was a yard sale. So, go PA.
Yard sale in NASCAR the night before. I'm like, all right, can't get away from it apparently.
But you like your digs at Castaways?
I love
West
it.
Ocean City?
I do love it. It's a nice, very clean. Just friendly people, and
5 minutes from Aztec Island.
Yep, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to the shop even.
Yep.
Come and run a board here if anyone's visiting.
That's right.
Come and get a foil board lesson. There
you go. So that's the whole new craze.
And it is cray.
Yeah. And they're showing up on my lake too now. Mm-hmm. People are wanting to get into it and learn.
Electric.
Yep.
All of it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's awesome. And so that starting of the season,
Let's just talk about it's like Christmas time. Christmas, every holiday rolled into one is when the season starts to kick off.
They're showing back with boards in hand.
Does that mean Ron's coming?
Mr. Sardo must be in the area.
Wow, that's his like.
That's his
That's
calling
the
guard.
bell that KJ has her at a sex so she can tell.
It's tracking device.
Right, like he's like a shark. He's tagged out there in the
Every
water.
time. Yeah, he gets away every time.
We know when he's close. It's all the great
Shark
white is
attack.
in the area. Guys, beware.
Goosebumps. And by the way, that is his board, the Goosebumps 7.8 by 23. I think it's insane. That's what he was riding. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. So I was on a 10.4. You were on a 10.4, and you were on a
8.6.
Yeah, and he's on a 7.8.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was insane.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I was wondering, looking at him, like his whole board was underwater
It's not a lot of volume,
good portion of the time. I'm
but
like,
it's like it zooms
you got a
in,
leak
man.
over there? What's going on?
You got a leak.
Yeah. He can handle that board like a boss, though.
I know it. So, okay, when I went back on shore, he was there. He was starting to come out, and then I'm like, I think I'm going to go back in and observe this situation.
Sure.
And I mean, he really was telling me we weren't just really just shooting the shit. You know, he was really
it's all
giving
pointing
me
out and
a lot of,
tips.
and then we did compare the two boards, looking at his board and then what I had, and just talking about like different stuff on a board. I mean, there's so many different like things and elements, and like mine's got 2 plugs that come out, and some plugs stay in for ventilation, and I just talking about that kind of thing. Talking about fin setup, so thrusters and
it's really, really good that you bring that up because it's super important to know what board for what conditions.
Yeah.
And there's never really one board that rules them all. I wish that there was.
Yeah.
There's just not.
that's why we have so many of them.
But that's what I love so much about like working with Ron and KJ is like I've heard her before with customers just being here in the store, and like she is not going to just sell you a board because you like it and she wants to get it out the door. She will tell you like this is not right for your water. Like this is not the board for you, So I love the education aspect of it because I think we can all admit that like we see a lot of people out there with just no education of what they're doing, no lesson, no understanding of the potential dangers. So I think that's very important. That's what I love about
but you guys do the same thing too. And then,
No, I just sell you whatever. No,
no, I'm saying
Just like this, yeah, take it.
we all learn from each other, right?
Yeah.
Like I learned stuff about sup yoga, things that I probably wouldn't have thought about when trying to sell a customer on it, or I can at least point them to you guys, and which we do a lot of actually, which is awesome because
Yeah, totally.
sup yoga is like it's you haven't seen me do it yet. It's pretty entertaining. But.
Is that what we're doing tomorrow?
If you want a good laugh, sure. I laughed at you guys. You can laugh at me.
Yeah.
Look at her. What is she doing? She's kooking out. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of customers that are like wanting to learn more about the fitness side or yoga side or the pod. And we can easily point them to you guys and say, if you want to see some really cool stuff, here's where you go. Kids camps now that you guys are doing those. Maybe adult race leagues. You guys might do those. Who knows?
Yep.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how you guys keep evolving. Oh,
Evolving, exactly.
look at that. Yeah,
That-
your
that's
business
the
is
thing.
just like from when we first met you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just keeps
Totally.
changing and morphing and evolving all in like really and now you're here surfing.
Yeah.
Like what's gonna happen next year?
I don't know.
We're gonna foil.
Probably.
Yes.
Well, I still have the wing that I'm like trying to. I have it with me. I brought it on the trip because I thought, if anything.
You maybe get a custom.
What do you mean?
I mean, we make customs. Ron makes customs.
Oh,
Maybe
true.
Maybe you guys are gonna get a custom.
Yeah, that's true.
Just gonna plant the seed right there.
That's right. Put it out there, and but that's the thing. What we just kind of were saying is always learning.
Yeah.
Always learning on something. I think one other thing that Jeremy, my husband, has said before, even on the podcast, as far as paddleboarding goes, is that board is 0 every time. It can be the intimidator depending on where you're at, right, or what situation. But it's like you've gone back to ground zero almost in any situation, whether Whether you took the winter off and you're like, yep, we got to get sea legs back, or you're in heavy waves or boat traffic if you're on the lake. The jet skier that keeps coming by you just to check you out when you're trying to do some yoga or something, or try to knock you off. There's so many situations and water conditions that you can kind of keep learning. You never get bored.
On a board.
Never get bored on a board. That's a shirt.
Yeah, and I guess, we're really lucky to be doing what we love doing.
Yeah. I would agree.
Super lucky. Can get stressful. And you got to hustle. But it is never boring. Like you said, it's never, ever boring.
It's never boring.
Thank God.
I mean, going and having a desk job.
I did it.
That's not my life.
I did it.
And yeah, having a desk job, I couldn't do it. And all I did, honestly, was look at pictures of surfing. Or when I finally had YouTube, access or something like that.
So what motivated you to just jump in, and anybody listening on this podcast that might be exactly where probably all three of us were at some point in corporate America or a desk, going, I'm spending all my time,
faith, trust.
Yeah.
Trust the process. I didn't have a roadmap of everything of what was going to happen. All I know is that I wanted to know what I was doing and not just fooling around. So certification's important, yeah. But I knew I had to do yoga first. And I was already practicing yoga. I've been practicing yoga probably 10 years when I did my certification.
Do you see any slowdown in your classes?
What do you mean, like?
Like, I would imagine if you're going to start that business, you might be like, will people, like, what will it look like year after year? Is it sustainable? And your classes just keep growing and growing.
It keeps growing. No, they're literally that first year. So take it back. There was a trial year in year 6. 6 years ago, because I had a bunch of boards already, like I said earlier, where I was, practicing on different boards or these types of boards and stuff. And there was someone that was doing, this can be like probably 3 stories in one, honestly. But there was someone that was trying to do some sup yoga. And I had actually bought one of her boards because she sold them off. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was something personal. Maybe she just wanted to move. I don't know. But that ended that, and it lasted like 3 classes maybe. And I was like, man, she's gone. I'm like, and I want to do that. I was like, I like that. So I was friends with someone else that was selling off the boards, and I said, well, give me 2. I want 2 of each color. She had 2 different colors. They were hard boards, so she even toted around hard boards. Yeah. They were super thick, though. They were, like, chunky. And
kind of like the Roots board?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it had the diamond pad. And
not comfortable. Cool.
Not comfortable.
No.
Yeah, like the cork. Exactly.
Love you.
I love the cork.
On the deck pad.
Yeah, on the deck.
Super comfortable.
Yeah, great on the knees, the feet, hands.
I mean, the Roots is the shit.
No, it is. I would agree. So I bought those boards. So anyway, I had like these pre-classes, like practice classes. All my friends or anybody that lived on the lake. I was like, come be guinea pigs. And I've been doing like these little throwback posts. And I just did one with my friend who she moved back to California. I couldn't keep her in Michigan, but she understood what I was doing and what I wanted to do. And maybe it was the California vibe in her, I don't know. But she was by my side with making lip balms, like even doing trials of that.
Nice.
Finding the right recipe, because it's my recipe. And the boards. You guys.
My recipe. TM
FYI.
Hey, I didn't copy this shit on the internet.
If I wasn't clear.
This wasn't a Google search, guys. Anyway, she was like totally with me, right? And so there was these other girls that would come out. We'd do these practice classes and stuff, and I'm just practice teaching. And then the 5th year, or the next year, is when I got my certification in San Diego. I found Evolve at the same time, I don't know, everything just kind of like fell together. And that's why I say just trust it. Just trust what you really want to do. And
if anybody listening should reach out to you and Kami for some like mentoring or like like help. How did you start this business? What was the foresight? What was the ups, the downs, the things that I don't know that I need to know?
Oh, there was times that that first year after, so I got the fleet of boards, I had the first board. It was the inflatable Evolve board, the Lotus. Took it out to San Diego. By the way, awesome setup because it fit all in a roller bag that I just checked.
Oh, checked onto the plane.
Yeah.
And put other things inside the bag. Oh, yeah, you can fill it.
You fill it up and roll it, and people are like, that's a paddleboard? Yep.
Yeah, so the kit comes with like the paddle, the adjustable paddle, the pump, the repair kit if you ever run into a barnacle. I say that lovingly because we have a lot down here. And then you just check it on the airline and go have your little
and do what you need to
sip on the plane and
cruise
over to Costa
Rica. That's the next stop, I think. That's the next stop. Learn some more sup surfing, maybe. But anyway, I bought then the fleet. I came home. I got the certification in hand.
Jeremy's like, wait, what?
I know. He's like, whoa, wait. Here's
like,
8 boards that showed up. And I literally hand pumped all 8 of those boards up.
Yeah, we apologize for that.
And took them down to the lake. I was that excited. But I was also standing there going, where is everybody for class? Like,
oh, yeah.
Because you got to grow it.
You do have to grow it, yeah.
So I never had a full 8.
Those first years, so I think the first pump that we had, it was an electric pump, but it would only pump it to like 10 or 12.
And then you'd have to do the rest.
And then Ron's like, and then you just finish it off. That's the hardest part. I can get it to 10, okay? It's like getting it over that hump.
Yeah.
So when you have 8 boards, which I started a fleet with 8, same thing as you, that 8, that's a lot of pumping.
Yeah,
so it was
electric pump is a good investment.
It was like the paddle pump class was like, okay, here's part of the class.
Here's your
pump your board.
And if now you'll know if you're that super excited about what you've just decided to do. If you're willing to pump 8 inflatables.
Yeah, and navigating your launch spot and site, and developing your float plans for safety and your neighbor, all the things that you guys have to consider.
Yeah.
But it was so, it was a little bit frustrating when I started because I'm like, why isn't there like a business plan, a handbook, here's what you do?
Yes.
But not having one just allowed to really work through those learnings, scuff the knees, brush burn the elbows along the way. But now I have an appreciation for the knowledge that I have. And if I say don't do this, there's a reason why. I've done it and I failed miserably. Just like with you, don't go out tomorrow. I would tell you, trust someone who tells you.
But you guys are good. You guys are good at partnering, and bouncing ideas off each other. And I think you guys have really helped each other.
Totally.
With your businesses and even when we all talk on the phone and with Ron or
totally
just one-on-one and just bounce ideas and knowing that you have somebody else that you can go to talk about what's new in the industry, what you want to give your customers, safety, where to go, all retreats now that you're thinking about, right? That's
totally
exciting.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Totally
taking it on the road,
and we have other sup yoga retreat people like Michelle Benton down in Florida that we can hook you up with. And I don't know, that's the exciting part about our business is that we get to see you guys I shouldn't say that word, freaking take off. Just
well, the collaboration definitely is a big part of it, and that kind of goes back to probably part of the sport is that people willing to help each other and want to see somebody else grow.
Spread aloha, man.
Yeah.
Share Stoke, spread aloha.
Mm-hmm.
That's
totally. And part of that, even that retreat stuff, I mean, Kami and I have talked,
glint in her eye.
Oh, I know.
Bring PA people with the MI people.
Yep.
Yeah. Bring them down here, Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
You guys could do a combo. That would be awesome. You could do beach yoga, aerial yoga. You do that stuff. I don't know if you guys do that stuff.
Aerial yoga?
I
On a paddleboard?
No, not on a paddleboard.
Wait. Huh?
That's new.
Hey, let's invent it.
Saying. Yeah.
Edit that out. Someone's going to like figure out how to do it. Don't give them the idea.
Oh, we can't give it all away.
But like you were talking about like the community and the sharing, and that is so much of what SUP brings. Like it is a connection to nature. It's a connection to just yourself. You connect with others, whether it's through friendships or business partners or like, me who was traveling around. SUP was such just like a builder between strangers. Like I was always the paddleboard girl, but then I've like formed these relationships that just started because someone's like, oh, I see a paddleboard. What is that, a surfboard? What are you doing? How do you do that? And I ended up teaching like 4 random people just, touring across the country. I got extra boards, just come on out, let's go,
Yeah.
And these lunatics like trusted me, to go out there.
Who'd you meet out there?
Who you calling a lunatic?
Well, they have to be. You just need some random girl.
I like lunatics. You know what I mean?
Lunatic. I have a lunatic.
You just need some random girl who's like, yeah, I'm just going to take you out in the bay. You'll be fine. Just come with me. Board's great. It's inflatable. It's solid. You're not going to die. And they're like, okay.
And they trusted you.
This is why I said lunatic. No, I'm very good friends now with
properly outfitted with her PFD.
That's right.
Either on the board or a waist belt, leashed up. And
She looked legit.
Correct form. I'm sure of it.
They're like, she's just not.
I think it's lady with her dog vest. I put lady's little vest on her, so they're like,
That's
she is not messing around.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, and she was probably on a good looking board, so.
Oh, always.
Totally.
Definitely. Well, this is awesome. I don't know if this is the trip of my lifetime or like I have more coming in my future, but I mean, coming here and then me, to return with boards in hand and kick off the season because
yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's go time.
At Memorial.
Yep.
Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean for you guys?
Well,
what kind of specialness do you have going on?
Well, I have a few things in mind. Some new things that people have even requested to do. I mean, I think you kind of mentioned, whether it's a league or it starts off small and becomes like this fun adult thing, like races or make it some sort of challenge. It doesn't have to be just a race. Include the pod in it.
Yeah.
Anchor that out and do some cool stuff with that. And I mean, I think between all of us of collaborating ideas, we always kind of come up with something.
Oh yeah.
Pretty fun. And like whether it's like kids camp and
we'll have Return to Goat Island coming up here soon as a race. So bring your posse.
Oh, come back?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
What, in a month? Isn't it coming up?
It is coming up really quick.
It's July 23rd. That's definitely more than a month. About 2 months.
About 2 months. Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Need another Saturday.
Yes. This is another cheers to.
This is going to be to a great season.
Oh, and what do you have?
To a great season
coming up for your.
Yeah. What do you?
Well, I bought the big 18-foot by 60.
Oh, you have the Mucho Grandes.
Yeah, so I have
baller.
that party board. So I'm gonna try to see if I can. I mean, obviously my friends get them out there and like see what shenanigans can happen. But I want to try to do like whether it's like a family thing that they go out and you kind of have this like here we are, bring a cooler out, have lunch, maybe
Brunch,
it's a brunch, bachelorette party. I'll utilize that in the kids camp. I'm having 2 kids camps. Sup League for kids is going to be the start. So I do want to have an adult one and like, sorry adults, but the kids are just like, they're so stoked.
And they're so enthusiastic.
So enthusiastic.
Yes.
And like to just see them, like they just want to get out there and get that board in. Or there are the ones who are like, they're a little bit nervous, but like by the end of those 3 days, they're like powerhouses. Like I've seen kids just completely transform. So the confidence that paddleboarding gives them, and then learning water safety, learning appreciation for like your outdoors and your resources. And I always like kind of push that in the trash. And I have a ranger come and talk and like do like a little 20-minute presentation. So really focusing on the kids a lot this year, because those are like, that's our future paddlers. And it's,
there you go. Yep.
Future
That's
proms.
awesome.
That's right.
Nice.
Is
That's
Luna
awesome.
going to be involved in any shenanigans? Or
Well, actually, you know, we might be doing some sub pop stuff.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so a special kind of thing. You know, I'll try to do one and see if we do, you know, a couple more if it goes well. But yeah, they're very interested in the dogs.
And the
dogs being on the
inflatables
boat.
can totally support the dogs, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
who doesn't want to see dogs on a paddleboard? I mean,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's huge in Annapolis.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They have like, I mean, I always see the pictures. There's like 20, 30, and they just look like they're having fun. You know, they're just out there doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool.
well, I think they get the same, like, you know, like no matter how like wound up you are, you get out there and like eventually like you start letting go. You start like feeling the flow and relaxing. And I think with dogs, like they're probably nervous, like, oh, uneven ground, all the things that we sense. I don't
Yeah.
have a foundation, but then like they get their sea legs and they find that flow and like it's all good. And you can see them, like some of them are legit smiling out there. And you're
yeah.
yeah.
That's so cool. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, to be able to share that with
your pup.
your bae, my bae. My Luna bae, my lunatic.
Oh,
She is a lunatic.
she's so cute though.
A little bit, yeah.
She's really cute.
Gave her some CBD today and chill her out. But it's all good. This is, I mean, this, like I said already, this is awesome. This is, you know, I mean, we could probably go on and on and on, I feel like, you know, and
Yeah, you'll have to come back and see us. And
yeah,
see again.
definitely.
We hitting the road here. Gosh, I guess we'll be open 7 days a week.
Wow.
Hitting it hard.
Hitting it hard. That is the hard
Rentals
part
and- yeah.
for us, wanting to see each other more, you know, like me come to Kami or Kami come to me. It's like we're so seasonal and it's so short.
I know,
and it's
and
like,
it happens. It goes so fast too.
and then before you know it, it's like January and it's like,
And before you know it, it's February and you're going to Costa.
so yeah, maybe that's, yeah.
Maybe we'll just meet in Costa.
So
do a podcast in Costa Rica.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I don't have a podcast, but I'd like to come.
You have to.
I don't really bring anything cool like that to the table.
You are cool.
You
are
just
the
come.
cool.
Yeah, you could be,
Okay.
you can
Yeah.
do co-hosting. I don't know how many people will be on the show, but I mean, whatever. We'll figure it out. It's that trust aspect
So
again.
we got Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ocean City, Maryland, pretty much sup yoga, rentals, dogs, sup pups. You got the kids, the groms,
Rentals.
private lessons too.
Yeah,
right?
private lessons, definitely, for sure.
We got a banging race coming up, and
Yeah, talk
rentals,
about Goat
sales,
Island.
and
Go ahead, pump it up.
yeah. So it'll be our 4th or 5th year, but it's our 10-year anniversary for Walk on Water, so it's going to be like it's going to be an awesome paddle festival, I think, and mainly paddleboards and kayaks. We're still toying with OCs, and there'll be a kids race on Mucho Grande. We usually have 2 Mucho Grandes, and it's hilarious. And then we'll have a 6 mile. We'll have a 2 mile for beginners, and then we'll do some sprints. And there'll be some prizes and music, food, vendors. Yeah, it's just gonna be good.
Nice.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Is it 2 separate? Like you said a 10 mile and a.
Oh, we'll do a 6 mile, a 2 mile, and then we'll have some sprints. So
okay.
the cool thing is that we took it down to a 6 miler so that they'd have a little bit of gas left to do some sprinting at the end if they want to $10 drop in for like the sprints.
Cool.
So we've never done the sprints before, but that's gonna be fun.
Oh.
And I'm going to try to see if I can get maybe like 1 or 2 of my kids
Yeah.
to Because I've had a couple who, like, this is going to be their third year of, like, weekly classes. Like, they come out once a week and have, like, their private. So, like, they're into it.
And it's on the Pocomoke River, which is really a beautiful body of water. It's, I think, like, the deepest river. It's, like, 17 miles deeper than the Potomac. It's It's massive. Wow. And it's beautiful. It's protected where we'll have the race. And there's great camping there, so you can camp over for the weekend and then come surfing, like the next day if you wanted to. That's what we generally do. And we'll have a party-like atmosphere with some natter days.
I should hire a driver so that someone can just drive me to these things, and then I can make it still back to Michigan to still do a season.
Yeah, we'll have Annapolis people will come down. They'll bring their race leagues, and that's always really, really cool to see.
Cool. I'm going to do a race when I get home after Memorial Day weekend. It's Gun Lake Battle Challenge.
Oh, cool.
It's in between Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, just west of where I'm at, where I live.
Send us some pics.
Yeah.
How long is that? Which one are you entering?
I'm doing the 5K.
Okay.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. There's a 10K and 5K. I'm like, I'm not going to start the season at 10K.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
If that was August, maybe I would try it, but
I got nothing to prove.
Just go have fun.
What's cool though is that kind of like what you were saying, you've got some kids. I have someone that is really followed in wanting to learn and very dedicated. And I said, there's this race. She says, I'm gonna try it.
That's cool.
There is an entry level part of the race, and then the 5K and the 10. She's gonna do the entry, and I'm just excited
that's awesome
to see someone kind of evolve and grow. Is their skill. Sure. So
it's a good community. The race communities are really, really good. They're awesome, and it gets people out on a weekly basis too. Anyway, I can go on and on about it.
I know. Pivot turns.
Jibba jabba.
You can practice those pivot turns. So I know. We could probably go on, and as we watch the sunset behind us through the shop windows.
It's that time.
Well, thank you, ladies. This was awesome.
Thank you for being such a good director and host.
The hostess with the mostest. But no, this has been awesome. Thank you for having us, and I mean, especially everything that you contribute and share, and we try to bounce off of each other, and I think we're really between her and I, we're learning from you, technically, because you've got 10 years and plus, I'm sure, because before a business, there's still all this other experience. So
cool,
very cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Keep it going.
Awesome.